Good evening, I'm Alma Angeles and you're watching Eagle News International. On tonight's headlines. A powerful earthquake struck Nepal on Friday night, killing at least 119 people and injuring hundreds more. The quake, which had a magnitude of 5.6, struck in a remote pocket of the country near the border with India. Israel and the United States are at odds over what to do next in the war in Gaza as civilian casualties mount. The U.S. has called for a humanitarian pause, but Israel has rejected the plea, saying that it will continue to fight until all hostages are released. Japan and the Philippines announced that they will start negotiations on a defense pact that would allow the countries to deploy troops on each other's territory. The accord would be a major step in strengthening security ties between the two countries as they seek to counter China's growing military pressure. In the United Kingdom, the rising cost of living is forcing many people to rely on charities and support groups to meet their basic needs. In response to this crisis, the Iglesia ni Cristo, or Church of Christ, hosted a Care for Humanity event. Jericho Daniel Season will later tell us the story. First in our news, a powerful earthquake struck Nepal on Friday night, killing at least 119 people and injuring hundreds more. The quake, which had a magnitude of 5.6, struck in a remote pocket of the country near the border with India. The quake was felt as far away as India's capital, New Delhi, nearly 500 kilometers from the epicenter. Videos and photos posted on social media showed locals digging through rubble in the dark to pull survivors from the wreckage of collapsed homes and buildings. Nepalese security forces have been deployed to assist with search and rescue operations, but the remoteness of the area is making it difficult for information to get through and for aid to reach those affected. Nepal is located on a major geological fault line, and earthquakes are a regular occurrence in the country. In 2015, a 7.8 magnitude quake struck Nepal, killing nearly 9,000 people and destroying more than 500,000 homes. The latest earthquake is a major blow to Nepal, which is still recovering from the 2015 quake. The government has appealed for international assistance to help with the relief and rescue effort. Israel and the U.S. are at odds over what to do next in the war in Gaza as civilian casualties mount. The United States has called for a humanitarian pause, but Israel has rejected the plea, saying that it will continue to fight until all hostages are freed.
And it is striking and in some ways shocking that the brutality of the slaughter has receded so quickly in the memories of so many.
U.S. says that a temporary halt is needed to allow aid in and to help win the release of the hostages.
We need to substantially and immediately increase the sustained flow of humanitarian assistance into Gaza and getting American citizens and other foreign nationals out of Gaza.
Israel, however, says that there will be no pause in the fighting until all hostages are released.
אני הבהרתי שאנחנו ממשיכים בכל הכוח ושישראל מסרבת להפסקת אש זמנית שאיננה כוללת שחרור חטופינו. ישראל לא מאפשרת הכנסת דלק לרצועת עזה ומתנגדת להעברת כספים לרצועה.
The unsettling image of civilian casualties and damage to hospitals in Gaza continues to drive widespread condemnation of Israel's siege. Israel has defended its actions, saying that it's providing pictures of militant tunnels that it has discovered and accusing the militants of hiding itself beneath civilian areas. Tonight, Israeli troops are engaged in close quarters with militants. Israel has already claimed that there is a secret militant command center beneath the hospital.
Hamas has turned hospitals into command and control centers and hideouts for Hamas terrorists and commanders. Additionally, I can confirm that according to the intelligence we have in our hands, there is fuel in hospitals in Gaza. I repeat, there is fuel in hospitals in Gaza, and Hamas is using it for its terror infrastructure. This is an illustration of Shifa Hospital and the underground facilities. I want to repeat, this is only an illustration. We will not share here the true material. We will not share here the true material that we have in our hands. This is only an illustration. Right now, terrorists move freely in Shifa Hospital and other hospitals in Gaza. We have concrete evidence that hundreds of terrorists flooded into the hospital to hide there after the massacre of October 7th. By operating from these hospitals, Hamas not only endangers the lives of Israelis, civilians, but also exploit innocent Gazan civilians as human shield. Shifa is not the only hospital, it is one of many. We already exposed that Hamas stole fuel from UNRWA, and UNRWA confirmed it. And as I said, there is fuel in hospitals in Gaza, and Hamas is using it for its terror infrastructure.
U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken's visits to Israel and Jordan are aimed at reassuring America's allies and ensuring that Israel doesn't go overboard in its fight against Hamas. And that is according to Professor Yossi Meckelberg, a specialist in U.S. policy towards the Middle East. Blinken met with Israeli leaders to call for more to be done to protect Palestinian civilians during the war. And he pledged that Israel will not stand alone.
There is full support for Israel, and we saw today Secretary of State Blinken came, but also we'll see the frequent visits. It's not only to support Israel, it's also to ensure that Israel not going overboard, if it hasn't already, to ensure that it's... I think they probably will take that they have more time. And I think it's not only Blinken, I think the EU is supporting that too. So I think at this point there's no great pressure on Israel to stop. I think what the United States is trying to do is to assure all its allies that things are under control. Because obviously Jordan is very worried about what happened in Gaza. So I think Blinken is going to reassure the King, His Majesty, that it's under control of the United States. If it needs to put a stop when things, if they get out of control, they can put a stop to it. Now, time will tell whether this is the smart way to approach, because the more the suffering on the Palestinian side, the more it will become more difficult to move into a grand political solution after this. In the middle of a war, you need already to think about the political plan afterwards. Because a war, it's not about avenging and revenging, and reducing the capabilities of Hamas as important as it is, should already have a political plan that needs to be worked out now.
Hezbollah chief Hassan Nasrallah warned that war between Israel and Hamas could turn into a regional conflict if attacks on Gaza continue, placing responsibility firmly on the U.S. In his first speech since war broke out almost 4 weeks ago, Hamas militants in Israel, the head of the powerful Iran-backed movement, warned that all options were open for an expansion of the conflict to Lebanon.
القلق من إمكانية أن تذهب هذه الجبهة إلى تصعيد إضافي أو إلى حرب كاملة، أو القلق من أن تتدحرج هذه الجبهة إلى حرب واسعة. وهذا احتمال واقعي ويمكن أن يحصل، وعلى العدو أن يحسب له كل حساب.
Since Hamas militants launched a shock October 7 attack on Israel from the Gaza Strip, Lebanon's southern border has seen escalating tit-for-tat exchanges, mainly between Israel and Hezbollah, an ally of the Palestinian group, stoking fears of a broader conflagration. U.S. President Joe Biden has sent 2 aircraft carrier groups to the eastern Mediterranean, but a defiant Nasrallah told the U.S. that your fleet in the Mediterranean doesn't scare them.
التهديد والتهويل علينا وعلى المقاومين في منطقتنا لا يجدي نفعا. أساطيلكم في البحر الأبيض المتوسط هذه لا تخيفنا ولم تخفنا في يوم من الأيام. وأنا أقول لكم بكل صدق وصراحة إن أساطيلكم التي تهددون بها لقد أعددنا لها عدتها أيضا.
In Washington, White House Press Secretary Karine Pierre said Hezbollah should not try to take advantage of the ongoing conflict. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu warned Hezbollah it would pay an unimaginable price for any misstep.
המטרה של אויבינו היא השמדת מדינת ישראל. ואני אומר לכם, ואני אומר להם, אויבינו ייכשלו. הם יובסו. לא נרפה עד לניצחון, עד להשלמת היעדים שהגדרנו.
In tonight's other news, Japan and the Philippines announced that they will start negotiations on a defense pact that would allow the countries to deploy troops on each other's territory. The accord would be a major step in strengthening security ties between the two countries as they seek to counter China's growing military pressure. Philippine President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. and Japanese Prime Minister Kishida Fumio made the announcement following talks in Manila.
Our official engagements with Japan have expanded in the past decades to include cooperation between and among our coast guards as well as our armed forces.
Under the increasingly severe and complex international situation, we are deepening our cooperation in the area of security. And in particular, I am happy that we are able to agree on the provision of a coastal surveillance radar to the Philippines as the first project under the newly launched Official Security Assistance, OSA, this year. And I'm looking forward not only to strengthen our relationship with ASEAN, but also to further develop our bilateral relationship.
Kishida is the first Japanese prime minister to visit the Philippines since 2017. The start of negotiations on a defense pact follows an escalation in regional tensions this year as China has increasingly deployed ships to patrol disputed waters also claimed by the Philippines or Japan.
From this standpoint, I confirmed with President Marcos during his visit to Japan in February that we would work together to maintain and strengthen the free and open international order based on the rule of law. Furthermore, during my visit to the United States in January, I expressed my strong determination to defend a free and open Indo-Pacific, FOIP. The first of these pillars is to uphold the principles for peace and rules for prosperity. This is the idea of building peace by confirming and promoting the basic principles that the international community should uphold. For example, stability in the Mindanao region is linked to peace and prosperity in the Indo-Pacific. From this perspective, Japan has supported the peace process and economic development over the past 2 decades.
The Armed Forces of the Philippines Chief of Staff General Romeo Bronner warned of a destabilization plot against the administration of President Marcos Jr. Bronner made the during the joint change of command ceremony of the Western Command or WestMINCOM and Inspector General of the AFP at Camp Don Basilio Navarro in Zamboanga City.
Marami po tayong naririnig ngayon, masasabi natin mga destabilization efforts. May mga nagsasabi na dapat palitan ang ating Pangulo dahil sa maraming rason. May mga nagsasabi na dapat ay magkaroon ulit ng kudeta.
Bronner said that some of those involved in the plot are former AFP officers who were calling for rallies and even a coup d'etat.
And sadly, some of them were former officers of the Armed Forces of the Philippines. At nakausap ko yung iba sa kanila. Sabi ko sa kanila, sir, you have the right to do that because we are in a democracy. But please do not involve the active personnel of the Armed Forces of the Philippines.
He warned that these officers and enlisted personnel will be dealt with accordingly if they join the destabilization movement.
Kaya panawagan ko sa ating mga kasumpirduhan, officers and enlisted personnel, huwag tayong sumama sa mga ganitong mga movements. Maraming nag-encourage, hinihikaya ng individual members natin. Once we find out that any one of our active personnel are involved in this, we will act swiftly but judiciously. So huwag na natin tayo mag-isip. Maawa na tayo sa ating bansa. Let's give our country a chance to move forward to progress.
In tonight's other news, Storm Ciaran killed at least 16 people and brought widespread travel chaos across Western Europe as heavy downpours and record winds battered the region. Italy was the hardest hit country with 6 people killed in the central Tuscany region. Weather specialists reported record rainfall in the area and the rescue services were called out to dozens of incidents to help people stranded in flooded tunnels or hemmed in by fallen trees. 3 people were also killed off the coast of Portugal when a yacht ran aground north of Lisbon in strong swells. Other deaths were reported in France, Belgium, the Netherlands, Spain, and Germany, mostly caused by falling trees. In France, more than 300,000 households were still without power on Friday evening, mainly in the regions of Brittany and Normandy. Wind gusts in Brittany reached record speeds, and on the French Mediterranean island of Corsica, ship owner François Xavier Bachidou said the damage was totally unheard of.
Du jamais vu, hein, même pas pendant les tempêtes en 99, c'est jamais monté aussi haut, jamais. Regardez les toits des restaurants, tout ça. C'est jamais arrivé aussi haut que ça, hein, jamais. Ici, les bateaux ont toujours été en sécurité, enfin du moins on le pensait. Il va falloir revoir les choses dans le futur.
Une catastrophe. En résumé, c'est une catastrophe. C'est jamais arrivé à ce niveau-là. Il y avait des inondations, mais pas à ce niveau-là, quoi. Et c'est arrivé en 2 heures de temps exactement. C'est monté en 2 heures et c'est redescendu en 2 heures, quoi.
In southern England, hundreds of schools were closed as large waves powered by winds of 135 kilometers per hour crashed along the coastline on the Channel Island of Jersey. Residents had to be evacuated to hotels overnight as gusts of up to 164 kilometers per hour damaged homes. Air, rail, and ferry services saw cancellations and long delays across several countries. More than 200 flights were canceled at Amsterdam, Schiphol Airport, and in Spain, more than 80 flights were canceled at 11 airports, and rail services were suspended in the northwest on Thursday. Scientists have already warned that the world will experience more extreme weather events such as Storm Ciaran because of global warming. Meanwhile, a wind-fueled wildfire raged in eastern Spain, forcing the evacuation of hundreds of people and destroying thousands of acres of land. The blaze erupted on Thursday near the village of Montichelvo in the coastal region of Valencia. About 200 firefighters, backed by 3 water-bombing planes, are battling the flames, but strong winds are hampering their efforts. Between 800 and 850 people have been evacuated from their homes, and up to 1,400 hectares of land have been burned. The regional government of Valencia has advised people to stay home and avoid areas with trees and construction sites if they have to go outside. The wildfire is one of several extreme weather events that have hit Western Europe in recent days. Storm Ciaran battered the region on Thursday, causing at least 16 deaths, including that of a 23-year-old woman who was struck by a falling tree in Madrid. Scientists have warned that the world will experience more extreme weather, such as wildfires and storms, because of climate change. Meanwhile, El Nino caused massive flooding in Paraguay, forcing families to evacuate. El Nino has caused massive flooding of the Paraná River in Paraguay, forcing entire families to leave their homes. In the city of Ayolas, in the department of Misiones, 300 kilometers from Paraguay's capital, hundreds of homes have been left underwater. Residents have saved what they had on hand and sought shelter on higher ground. The Paraná River, shared by Paraguay, Brazil, and Argentina, Argentina has risen in recent days, prompting also the closure of border crossings. Cases of animal deaths from drowning and destruction of crops have also been reported.
A uno le duele bastante verle a familias abandonar sus hogares. A uno le duele ver a familias muy humildes que tengan pérdidas enormes y que después, posterior a esto, no solamente se trata de una inundación, posterior a esto hay consecuencias que afectan y que requieren de un proceso para recuperar.
In tonight's other news, preparations are in high gear as Formula One racing is about to hit the streets of Las Vegas. And here to give us an update is Ana Cui in Nevada.
F1 Las Vegas Grand Prix takes place in less than 3 weeks, and construction continues to transform a good portion of the Las Vegas Strip. Now, right behind me, we're standing actually in front of the F1 pit building, and they say this is where the race will start and end. As you can see, there is still much to complete, and workers are saying that they are working 24/7 to complete the construction. This pit building is said to have garages, suites, and a rooftop deck. It also includes a grand entrance with escalators and a large video screen. It's the only permanent structure of all that is being built for the Grand Prix. Skyboxes and grandstands temporarily stand at various parts of the racetrack, including the lakefront sidewalk in front of the Bellagio Hotel, otherwise known for its iconic water fountain attraction. People can't miss the lighting trusses that run along the 3.8-mile track, as well as the concrete barriers that now line the streets. We caught up with a couple of Las Vegas residents reacting to the ongoing event preparation.
Well, it's affected traffic because I go along the street a lot for work. A lot of traffic, but I'm sure it's for a good cause. You know, I'm very excited for everything that's going to happen.
You know, like taking Uber and Lyft here, you know, in the city, and I guess it's kind of hard because it takes a lot of time, especially from the airport. You know, like usually 45 minutes. So unfortunately, that's what we have to deal with.
Local residents and visitors say they've never seen so much road work happening on the Las Vegas Strip, including temporary bridge installations for access to commuters, especially during the week of the race. Despite the disruption to their daily commute, even local residents understand the economic impact F1 will bring to the city. Experts say it will help bring in international travel, which is one portion of the local economy that still has not returned to its pre-pandemic numbers.
It's good for the city, you know, a lot of like jobs and you know, commercial tourists coming, and we'll see. You know, we're excited for this amazing, you know, race happening in Las Vegas.
Yeah, I have friends from Korea that are excited to come over here to see F1.
The Las Vegas Grand Prix is another high-profile sport event for Southern Nevada ahead of the Super Bowl. F1 is expected to make an economic impact, bringing in around $1.2 billion into the local economy just in the first year alone. Ana Cui, Las Vegas, Nevada, Eagle News. We live in extraordinary times.
Hundreds of people joined the Pinktober Run 2023 in Port Moresby, Papua New Guinea, to raise awareness for breast cancer and support those affected by the disease. The run, which was organized by the Active City Development Program in collaboration with the French Embassy and Port Moresby General Hospital, attracted participants of all ages and fitness levels. Eko Ortelesa Quinola reports.
In collaboration with the French Embassy and Port Moresby General Hospital, the Active City Development Program hosts Pinktober Run 2023. The run aims to raise breast cancer awareness and support cancer treatment within the community.
We decided to sponsor this event to raise awareness on breast cancer, on how we can treat it and first detect it, and also we're here to fundraise money to participate to buy some medicine for 50 women at the Pamjam Hospital.
Hundreds of runners from different nationalities and from various agencies and companies doll up in pink outfits.
We had a good time. We are very happy, and we will meet next year for this same event and before for the Olympics in Paris. Thank you.
It's a good big turnout. It's bigger than last year, so it's getting bigger all the time. So that means the awareness is spreading out, and it's good for our city and good for the country, because now cancer, among other lifestyle diseases, is taking a big space in the health risk.
An estimated 100,000 kina, that's $26,600, has been raised benefiting breast cancer patients in Papua New Guinea's largest general hospital.
You just can't miss it. It's a noble cause. You sweat for it. The best demonstration is to sweat for a cause. The European Union was really proud to take part of it. The essential is not to win, is to participate.
My friends and I decided to do it again. We're all about being healthy and we work out together. So this was just another opportunity for us to wake up earlier than usual and come out here and do a 7K run for a good cause. Also out here representing the Team PNG, getting ready for the Pacific Games, so go Team PNG.
Aside from the fun run, there's an early morning exercise and a raffle with prizes including domestic flight tickets and other gifts. From Port Moresby, Papua New Guinea, Eko Hortaleza Quinola, Eagle News, we live in extraordinary times.
In the United Kingdom, the rising cost of living is forcing many people to rely on charities and support groups to meet their basic needs. In response to this crisis, the Iglesia Ni Cristo, or Church of Christ, hosted a Care for Humanity event at the ILEC Conference Center, bringing together local community support groups and charities. Jericho Daniel Season has the story.
We are living in an environment of economic difficulties. The spike in the cost of living has hit home and is now a global cause for concern.
But in London, United Kingdom, a charity movement spearheaded by the Iglesia Ni Cristo Church of Christ is happening here at ILEC Conference Centre in Earls Court to address these ongoing struggles. Invitations were extended to communities and charitable organizations across the UK, with a crowd of nearly 3,000 attendees assembled here. Today, the members of the Iglesia Ni Cristo are giving away 1,000 care packages containing non-perishable groceries and self-care items. There are also food parcels, a gallery, and a host of live musical entertainment. The focus of this year's work is geared towards helping smaller charities who are struggling to maintain their services, as well as community support groups who are in need of help.
Donating our time and sharing our resources to support those around us doesn't only connect us, it is also an opportunity to break down social barriers and build a more cohesive community.
In support of their local communities, the Church of Christ plays an active part in society through various acts of humanitarian projects. This year's Care for Humanity event is launched in commemoration of their 50th year in Europe.
Well, the foundation, that is Felix Y. Manalo Foundation, is incredibly good. It has helped a lot of people, not only our own country people, but other places around the world.
So I've been hugely impressed by what I've seen so far today. I didn't know what to expect, but to have been presented with such a worldwide push to support people in need, it really touches my heart.
So just to see everyone coming together collectively, sharing the kindness, I felt a lot of love in that room when I walked in. And just seeing how the younger generation is so involved in the care for humanity and what is happening on a daily basis. And their songs were beautiful. At the end of it, I was equally surprised because I got a beautiful care package, which I wasn't even expecting.
Care for Humanity gives so much impact to the people who I've seen today here in Earls Court, and I'm so proud to be part of it.
This event is very helpful in the sense that it gives everybody, wherever they are in the world, a sense of belongingness, a sense of participation, that they know that they will not be alone wherever they are in the world.
I felt like it was really nice that the ones who were out there on the forefront doing all of this, they were being appreciated and they were being made special, and it was very nice to see that.
They make you feel like
part of the family.
A family.
Yeah.
We're all family, right? That's a nice, warm feeling to know that you have people that you could go around.
I think it's an excellent idea of the whole giving process, and I've not opened my paper, so I'm not sure.
I haven't opened it yet.
I'm not sure what's in it, but I'm sure it will help towards our household.
On behalf of Ambassador Teodoro Locsin Jr. and on behalf of my colleagues at the Philippine Embassy in London, we would like to thank the Iglesia Ni Cristo, Church of Christ, for this wonderful initiative of this gift-giving project, Care for Humanity, which will benefit our members of the community here in the United Kingdom who are most in need of support.
From London, Great Britain, Jericho Daniel Ciso, reminding you to stay alert, for we live in extraordinary times.
And before we go, we would like to show you a special greeting from our Stratford Bureau to our beloved Executive Minister, Brother Eduardo Manalo, on his birthday. Watch this.
From Net25, London, UK, happy birthday po, Brother Eduardo Manalo. We love you very much po.
But our hope in the grace that will be ours. On your birthday po, we wish you good health and more strength to lead the brethren all throughout the world. From the Kadiwa of the local congregation of Stratford
in the District of Great Britain,
we greet you. Happy birthday po!
As always, I'll end the week on a thoughtful note. Our ability to look back and smile at our past is proof that God's plan is to keep us moving forward. This has been Eagle News International. I'm Alma Angeles. Stay alert, stay informed, because we live in extraordinary times. Good night.